I will. Okay, now you go.
All right. Welcome, everyone. What an incredible place to be. We are here in Melbourne for day one, officially day one of the MGTOW World Summit in Australia, in Melbourne. A couple of us have been here for a few days already. I know, Ronan, you've been here for a while now so far. It's been such an incredible joy over the last few days to meet all of you guys and hang out with you and go on really long walks and get sunburnt because I'm so pale. But we've had some of the coolest conversations, and I've just loved walking. And we noticed people change around, and everyone's having different conversations with everyone. And this is what I see as one of the most beautiful parts of all of this, just us sharing our own experiences and being able to relate to each other, and people from all walks of life, from all different places in the world. We've got people from all over the US, we've got people from New Zealand, we've got people from all different places in Australia here, and everyone's just converged in this one room to be together. So for that, I just wanted to thank everyone and just say that I'm truly grateful to all of you for making the time. And thank you to Ronin for conceptualizing this and putting this all together. It's really important that we have things like this. So this is my first summit, and I haven't actually.
I want to say, it's very fucking glad you're here. He's the first. You were the first like content creator who came, because a lot of people are very 3-inch, right? They want to protect their turf, right? That's not necessarily content creators at MGTOW. Anybody, human beings are like that. And then when Sydney came, I was like, fuck, this is the first guy who's taken a chance as part of the community. Like, I thought, this is so awesome. I love that mindset. When I heard you coming, I was like, no way, is he really going to come? Miggy and Chris were at the first one, right? But Chris was living with me, and Miggy was friends with Chris, and he just came by,
Yeah.
You're the first guy who said, I'm going to go, I'm going to be part of this. Like, I'm really saying welcome, thank you for coming.
Man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I saw something the other day that someone wrote, and they said, not everyone's going to agree with me, and not everyone is going to take on board what I say, but if I can, I'm paraphrasing here, but if I can encourage just one person to take 1% more responsibility, to encourage one person to become 1% more conscious of themselves, or 1% more successful in their own lives, or be 1% happier, then everything that I've worked for up until now is basically worth everything that I've done. And that's truly how I feel about everything. And I'm at about 28,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel now. I got demonetized at around about 10,000, and I was a couple of $1,000s a month that helped to purchase a lot of the equipment, and with some of the initiatives that I was putting forward at the time. But it's all dried up, and I still get donations and stuff here and there, and it's not a lot, but it's enough to partially contribute to this trip, and it's also enough to let me know that I need to keep going. Because if people are giving me the fruits of their labor off their own back without any request on my part, then that tells me that I have something of value that they really appreciate. And just the comments, the occasional donations, and people emailing me and saying, I had one guy, he used to have the word, he used to call himself Misery Man on YouTube.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah,
and I won't say who he is now, but he changed his YouTube name, and he emailed me. He's like, look, thank you for everything that you've talked about. You've really given me a lot to think about, and I've made changes in my life, and it's been positive, and I've kicked depression essentially, and I'm no longer Misery Man. I'm just me.
I was going to be LGBT before I met you. I was going all there.
He changed you up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Sydney the life changer. That's me. And something, and some of you have come here today at around about the time we said we were starting, and something that I really want to talk about is presence. And there's a real presence amongst all of us in this room right now. And there's a real incredible energy, and it's not something that I could ever put into words, no matter how much I philosophize over it, if that's even a word. It's something very real. It's something very intangible, but it's there, and we all know it. And even as early as sort of 7 o'clock this morning, there's a few of us sitting around this table, and we're having the most incredible conversations, and light bulbs were just going off everywhere. And it's something you cannot replicate. It's something that you can't read off a script with the same impact. Even those same words delivered, repeated from someone else's, or even from your own words, it's never the same as when it comes out for the first time where your mind, where your energy, where your soul is coming out through your words. So, you know, I really want to stress everyone that you're going to get the most out of this weekend the more you're present, because the present it's right now. It's not in a day's time. It's not tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. It's now. Whenever that now is, whether that now is tomorrow at 7:37 a.m. That's when you should be wherever you can be to get the most out of what you want to get the most out of. So, guys, you're more than welcome to stay late. You're more than welcome to come early. This doesn't have to be. This is not a schedule thing. Like, yeah, we've got times as a guideline, but Ronan's put together some really good content and some really good things to think about. And we're all going to be having discussions. Like, this isn't a sit down, turn the projector on, Ronan's saying, oh, this is what I typed up and this is what I'm saying. No, that's not what this is about. This is all about an exercise in thought and about self-consciousness and awareness, because we all have the answers to everything that we need within ourselves. It's just having a trigger in front of us or asking ourselves the right questions through the catalyst of something someone else has said or done. And I think that this is really the key to evolution of self in so many people. And I really want people to understand, both all of you who are listening and those of you who are those of you who are in the room right now and those of you who are listening to this recording later. I really want all of you to understand that you have so much potential and that is largely untapped. Even if you are a multi-billion-dollar business owner, most of your potential is still untapped. What we have available to us in the very physicality and neurology of our bodies is unquantifiable. And it's up to us to discover as much of that as we can before the day where we take our final breath and our heart beats its last beat and we start pushing up daisies. So if there's anything, look, I haven't seen the content for today. I don't know what Ronan's going to be presenting. I know he's a very insightful guy and I really appreciate you, Ronin. So I know it's going to be good. But if there's one thing that I could personally share with you before we continue with this summit today, that's what I want to share, and just really get all of you thinking about what you really can do, because it's our fears and our limitations that are holding us back from what we could do.
Because one of the traditions at this opening meeting is people say what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Something that's not fucking perfect yet, It's so easy to talk about old things. Oh, before I learned Chinese and I went through this. And it's like, fuck that. What is going on right now? So that when you leave this weekend, you're working on it. You got some traction on this new fucking problem, right? Some guys want to do different. I know a lot of guys want to do different things. And one of the biggest things I've seen, the biggest problems, is talking to one guy in particular. You talk one way in the group and then one way on the side. Don't do that at this one. Here's your chance. This is your chance. When you put something out there, fucking these dudes give a fuck, right? And people online too. So if you actually have something you're struggling with, just say, this is what I want to get through. This is my new thing, This is the one part of my life that's fucked, or, whatever it is that you want to. Why did you come? Right? People came from a long ways, right? So there's something that's bugging the shit out of you. You're maybe not thinking about it right now, but when you go home, you will be, right? So what is that thing, right? You feel free to say that, because that's the stuff. And that's the stuff that's benefited me the most too, when I talk about stuff that I'm not sure about. The one episode where I cried about my baby, right? That was good, right?
And thank you for saying that, Ronan, because you're absolutely right. And I know you mentioned that to me previously, and it's, people who have watched my videos previously will know that I can sort of go off on a bit of a tangent. But I think that where I was going with that was essentially leading to something along those lines, because every single one of us, even if we've got things really going on, we've got challenges.
So what's your intention? What's your struggle?
Well, my personal intention.
He's not ready for this.
Well, look, let me tell you about my struggles. So, my struggle has, for the last couple of years since I lost my job as a result of my channel, been financially. So I've been constantly making it a learning process for myself. I still don't know everything. I won't know everything when I'm dead, but I'm still learning what I need to learn in order to be able to create the financial position that I want, so that I can have the freedom to travel, so that I can have the freedom to spend more time with my family, because my parents are aging now, and I want to be able to look after them. That's just something that's really important to me. And I that scares me sometimes, that what if something were to happen tomorrow and I'm not in that financial position to be able to go and drop everything and look after them and be that man for my family that they've been for me as I've been growing up. So that's something that really bears on me, like that carries weight on my shoulders. And it's something that I think I've been honing in, and just through process of constant evolution of learning and asking myself questions, I've been honing in on the target. Like I've been narrowing down, I've been shedding the fat, I've been getting rid of everything that doesn't serve me, and bringing it down to this narrow point where it's like I actually have it.
Fears, pain, real shit.
Yeah, like I'm actually starting to discover like my real genuine purpose, and my purpose has essentially evolved from helping. And this is still a big part. Like I still do my channel because I want guys to realize what they're in for in this current Western world, and with the way that the laws are and the way that we get treated now. And it's up to us guys to treat ourselves properly, because that's something we expect others to treat us better. It's like not one single person outside of your body has any sort of requirement on them to treat you well. Remember that, because you're the only person that you can guarantee that will treat yourself well, and it's up to you to do that. We can't rely on other people. We can't have expectations on others to do that. And that's another part of what I've learned. But my purpose is to help raise the testosterone levels of men across the Western world, because I really see that that's a huge problem, and that's impacting men and our strength and our presence and our ability to focus and our libidos and our self-image. And all of these things can be largely eradicated by having conversations on a global scale like what we're having now, and also people leaving comments in YouTube videos where someone's talking about their struggles, saying, hey man, I went through that as well. Like, if you want, reach out to me. Here's my email address. Or this is something that I experienced as well, and I found this was really helpful. I hope that's helpful to you as well. So for me, my biggest, like getting down to the pointy end of the stick, it's like, man, I'm a little fish in a big pond. And I was having this conversation this morning. And it doesn't matter if you're a little bit fish in a big pond. Like, you're a fucking fish. Go out and feed yourself. And help your family. Help those you care about. And I think I really want that for me to be the essence of what I bring to this summit. I might go around and people can introduce themselves by their first name or by their pseudonym or whatever you want to call yourself, and we'll just talk about what our own individual challenges are and our fears and like anything that's going on in our lives right now or that we want it to be going on, and we just sort of want to put that out there as an intention about something that we want to get from this weekend, and that we want to grow from. So if you want to start.
Okay. My name's Steve. I'm 51. And, I hope to.
Yeah, just hold it up roughly around here. Just talk.
Yeah. I hope to just want to change. I feel like I've been stuck in a rut for 30 years. I've worked in my own retail business for 30 years and 6 days a week, and look, I've got pretty much everything I want, but I just want to get out and travel. And like, I've listened to you guys like travelling around the world, and like I haven't even had a passport for 20 years.
Wow.
So that's, I want to gain the confidence here just to break that step, like jump off this mouse wheel that I'm on and go out and live life. Like my kids have grown up, and I've got no real reason to be stuck the way I am.
It's your turn, Steve.
That's my turn. Yeah.
It's your turn.
And that's what I hope to walk away from, the confidence to do that. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Create a new life.
Create a new life. Yeah. Like, I've had a good life. I've had a great life. I've had a lot of, but everything's in very short episodes. It's like, I've fitted a lot in, but yeah.
Oh, you're in the right circle of people here to be able to get out of this what you want.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to have some long chapters rather than lots of little.
Cool, man. All right.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Hey guys, I'm Peter. I guess I'm the youngest dude at the summit. I'm 22. Yeah, I'm the youngest dude at the summit. I was the youngest dude at the last summit as well. I mean, the summit before last, and last one in Thailand. Coming to the summits, I think I'm growing into myself as a man from a boy. Right now, I still live with my parents, and after this, I'm probably gonna try and get some source of income, maybe a job, maybe starting something online. I broke up with my girlfriend. She wanted to get married, and still pretty broken up about that. So trying to get over that, and I'm learning mechanisms or maybe game to help with that, to deal with internal struggles and that kind of stuff. That's about it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, all right. Awesome. Let's see, Ronan, you guys probably know. Let's see, what am I struggling with? A lot of stuff this year has been a big fucking deal for me because ever since I left Las Vegas, it's been I have to say, I probably learned the most in this year that I ever learned. This has been the most growing year of my life. Yeah, period. And I never expected that in my 50s. I never expected that. So that in itself feels good, you know, because I think one of the biggest problems when you get older is it doesn't matter how you look, you're still older, right? It's like you could look young, it doesn't fucking matter. Like it's like you need a purpose, you need things you want to do, you know. It's like around you everybody's giving up. You know, people start giving up in their 30s, you know. Like, you know, and so when you're in your 50s, like kind of it's accepted to give up, basically, you know, just like give up, you know, whatever that means, like to them, you know. It's just like there's really I mean, you put on a brave face, but you just basically give up inside. And no one really knows, right? And pretty much everybody else gives up. So it's, or the opposite of giving up is you try to prove something, right? So it's like, you know, I'm going to start a company and prove to everybody that I am doing something and I'm valuable. You know, it's like the same thing. It's the two sides of the same coin, right? I don't really want to do either one of those, you know, prove to anybody that I'm doing something or just secretly try to carry on, you know, with the things I have. And it doesn't, it's like whatever you have, it's like, it's old once you have it. And it's time to move on. It's time to grow, do more, you know? So that's the thing is it never stops and it doesn't matter how much you succeed or don't succeed. There's always that, am I going to continue doing the same shit? It's like a guy who talks about high school all the time when he was a football player and he was the top and he was this and this. It's just, there's a million of those things in life. So for me, this year has been like, okay, what am I now, you know? And what am I going to become? What am I going to do? And, you know, where do I want to go from here? And then what kind of role models or possible maps are out there for me? And so for this year has been like pretty much a really hard year. But at the same time, it's kind of easy too because I was like, it's like if you're in a terrible car crash and you're trying to get over it, and you're trying to get your legs to work and you're trying to get moving again. It sounds very hard. Everybody will agree it's very hard. But in ways, it's very easy because it's so obvious what you're supposed to do, right? It's like you're supposed to fucking get your legs moving. The doctor tells you, you know, you should be walking this far. You should be jumping again or whatever. You know, you have these goals. And it's super clear. And you don't have to think, you know. The problem with my situation is like right now is like I have no idea what map is there. Like I just have no fucking idea. Considering a lot of the stuff that I've learned this year, I didn't put on Ronin because it was just personal insights. It'll come out over time as I integrate it, kind of thing. But I learned a lot, and I'm taking everything I learned this year, and I'm gonna try. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try to when I go back to Bangkok to record it for a trauma recovery product. So it's gonna be very heavy shit, but that. For me, the work has been done, so it's gonna be like just putting it down so other people can, you know, if they can benefit from that. But now for me, like for myself, like what is the next stage? I think that I don't know what the stage is, you know, and I don't really have a map yet. So I think even coming to Australia was a big deal for me actually, because until I decided to come here, everything I did in my own mind was plausibly could go back to what I was doing. I had a plan to go back, you know, everybody knows I wanted a kid, right? So I had a kid and I got a kid in Vegas now that's a year old, but I'd never met her. So part of me was always kind of like, I'm going to go back, and I was going to figure out a way to do that life. And when this year, I as much as I feel, sometimes you want to do something, but you can't. It's not there for you, right? And you have to say, okay, you have to accept that, right? The other way is to not accept it and just to basically give up all your beliefs and everything you stand for and just do something, But I'm not into that. I'm not going to do that. So I just accept that some things are undoable at the moment, and life will unfold as it unfolds, right? So for this year, I don't know what is going to be the new thing. Thailand fucked everybody over on the visa, so a lot of expats are leaving Thailand right now, long-term expats, like retirement. I'm probably going to stay another year. I'll probably go and get a visa. They made it, I can get it in LA easier than I can get it in Thailand, so I'll probably go to LA soon after this, and then or in March or whatever. And so I'll probably go back to Thailand. So this year is a little bit in the air, but not that much. I'll probably get another visa in Thailand. And what do I want to do with my life? Like, what is going to be the new thing? I really feel like this year of growth is like really fucking insane. Like, it's been really insane. So I guess part of it for me is like sifting through this stuff and figuring out what the new path is, Because in the end, I actually am very radical at the core, like even much more than I say. Like whatever it is that I decide to do, I will just do, and that will be the new decision. So I don't know what it'll be. I don't know where it'll go. I don't know what the plan will be, but I know that kind of like the bridges are burned for the old way of living, and for my old way of living was. A lot of it was my mindset and beliefs, like and stuff like that. So, based on things that very subconscious stuff that I carried around for a long time. So, like I guess that it remains to be seen what will be this year. So I can't say a specific thing that will happen, but I need a new focus right now because I've done what most people do in like 10 years of trauma work. I did in 1 year. Same, I learned Chinese like in a year and a half, and most people, it's at least a 4-year thing. So I really focused on it, and I really did it. So, and that's good. I got it very, very efficient. But now it's over. Yeah, I can walk now, right? You know what I mean? It's like now I'm out of the car crash, right? I'm out of the thing. And so part of this whole thing is that you start to see your whole life differently. You start to see your whole life differently. So I don't want to use any like cheesy words, but it is unknown for me. So being here and seeing you guys and stuff is great, and I really look forward to. I know a lot of guys want to learn how to make money online, which I never wanted to talk about because just saying those words sounds cheesy to me for some reason. I just don't like that. I like to do things and not talk about them and just kind of like. But I guess I got to talk about them because that's what a lot of people want. They want to make money online. Like that's the bottom line. A lot of guys don't want to work. They want to be free, right? And so I don't want to talk about it, to be honest. Like I know a lot about it, and I don't want to talk about it. I just want to secretly do it and then pretend like it's easy. That was always my way when I was in school. Like I'd figure something out and I would pretend like I didn't study and I'd just ace a test or whatever. And then people would be like, how did you do that? You didn't even study. Yeah, I was like, just come out of nowhere, just blaze the test, And it partly was true. Like I would figure it out easier or whatever, But like now, like I realize that in a sense, like there's just so many people, they want to be free of part of the whole thing is that you're stuck in one place, right? So I guess you got to get free, and the only way you can get free is by having some options to do stuff. And also, I hate the fact that there's so many scammers online. There's so many, and it's so hard. It's so fucking hard to figure out what you want to do. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been doing it for 5 years now, 6 years. And it was like a bitch to get going, man. And I had a lot of heartbreak, man. There's people do not honestly share about this shit. It is scary. It is fucking hard. It is not an easy way to go at all. At all. It's like fucking hard. It's a heartbreak city, all the way down the road. Stuff can just end, like just one thing. But the way you take money is called a payment gateway. they can just shut that down. There's things that can happen, and they're very, very, very stupid things that happen. Like just they can ruin your online business, and you can have an online business and just ruined overnight. Like one of my businesses online, just a political decision by one country changed a lot of things about how much people wanted it. It's like the next thing I know, the whole landscape looks different. And I'm like, I work so hard on this. And it's like, well, that's not happening anymore, So I was like, fuck, So, but I really, truly am committed to being free, and the part of, for me personally, is that I don't want to get money from one source. I don't want to get it one way. I want to have different ways I want to protect myself for the first time.
It's
so,
essential.
Yeah, protection of myself is one thing I'm really not good at. I'm terrible at protecting myself. Like literally, I'm like the worst. I'm bad. I'm very bad. I'm good at doing shit, but I'm like the worst at so I want to start to protect myself. And whatever that means, I don't even know what that means exactly, but I guess that I see it all is related to the trauma shit, but it's like I want to protect myself now. So whatever that means, I want to learn new things in that way, because I never was like that. I would always be the guy to race without a helmet and no shoes. Like I would always be I never thought about protection. That's just one small thing. But like the bigger stuff in life, I just didn't protect myself ever. And I was proud of it, because you don't need you don't have to prepare shit. You just climb Mount Everest or whatever the fuck you want to do. Just fucking go up, right? But now it's like, no, I want to protect myself. I've lost a lot of things, and I want to, this time, just for my own self, not even to amass anything. Just I want to fix this problem that has been festering, because I know there's value. I see people that protect themselves, and I'm like, how do they do that? How do they value themselves in that way that they can protect themselves? Isn't that, you know what I mean? Like that kind of mindset. So that's one thing I'm working on for sure, and that I didn't really realize. And I was very proud of the other one, because I can just do shit. Like if you guys want to do whatever the fuck it is today, like it could be anything. Go to Iraq and fight. I'm ready. Like I am always ready for a revolution. Like I always. Yeah, literally. Yeah. If some guy came with a machine gun, like that's exciting for me. It's like shit's going down. Let's make it happen, Fucking falling on the ground. Like that's always been my mindset. But now it's like, okay. I'm good at that. I'm good at always being ready. I'm good at being prepared. I'm good at like not being, I'm good at all of this stuff. But now I'm realizing I had like, it's like, I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say is like, it's like you get so good at something that you ruin your life in a way, because you just don't see the other side. Like you can't see. You just have never, ever ventured into the other side. You have no idea what's in that black box. But I think part of now, at my age, is that I really want to try different ways of living. I want to see what's in the other boxes that I've never gone into, And that's part of that is like just caring about myself, protecting myself, right? And so that's one of the boxes that I want to start to open up. So I'm sure some guys here are really good at it from birth or whatever. So anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. And there's probably other things, but I'll think of. But thanks very much. Thank you. I just want to say thanks for coming. And, I also want to say special thanks, Steve, Dee, and Jason. Jason's not here. But you guys made it happen. And just so you guys know, the reason why this whole summit happened is because we were in Deepak's house, and he's like, yeah, you can come to my house. We'll do a summit. I got this funky space. And I'm like, and I was like, never, no way. It's never going to happen in my mind, This is like how many years ago? 2 years ago? Something like that?
Earlier. I think it was earlier this year.
Okay. Oh, like a year ago? Was that only that long ago?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Seems like a million years ago. Okay. And then I was like, oh, it's never going to happen, But the fact that D was like solid, and he's like, it's going to happen. Everything's okay. And then Steve's like, I don't know if you got my message, but I want to help. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're reading my messages, but I want to host, guys. I want to help, And then Jason like didn't say shit. And I didn't even know if he was going to be at the airport. He said he was going to come meet me. I fucking didn't even think he was going to be there. Because like I'm getting like messages every like 8 hours, and they're like not totally unrelated. I'm like, is he giving? I just thought, fuck, this whole thing might go to shit. I don't know where I'm going to stay. I don't know if anybody's here. Like D might go back to Vietnam. Like I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. And I landed, and I'm like, and then there's Jason, and he's like just, he just doesn't talk much, but he was all ready to go. Everything was ready to go, and he's got a big surprise. It's going to be awesome. So we'll have to talk about that. He works a lot, so he's interesting work too. So he'll be here probably tomorrow or something. But you three guys made it happen because that was the anchor, and also was the first one in an expensive country. You know, because all the other ones have been in cheap countries where it's like you didn't have to be organized because it's like there's a fucking youth hostel for $8 right down the road. Like, you know, you need a place, just go to fucking, what was that place called? That youth hostel? Foo House. Just go to the fucking Foo House. Yeah. $7. And you could bargain them too. Yeah. Yeah. You could bargain them by the week. Yeah. 2 weeks. Yeah. And so that was always easy, you know, and there was always cheap restaurants and you didn't need cars. Everybody walked. So now this is kind of the first time. So, and I realized too, a lot of guys are new. And so guys are like, what time is this? What time is that? And I feel like, I was thinking this morning, I woke up thinking, it's not about time. It's about being here. It's just about being here. Because just be here as much as you can. And good shit will happen. Like, you know, you'll see, you know.
Like the more you're here, the more good stuff will happen.
Yeah, just be here. Just be here. Yeah. Even if you're sleeping, somebody will wake you up or whatever, you know. Just like, you know, just be here, you know. It's like, be around, you know. And so, anyway, speaking of that, fucking Gabe, where the fuck are you? Okay, pass it on.
Hi, it's John. I guess I got onto Ronan's material on YouTube because I'm looking for a fresh start. I've lived a very conservative existence. I had the long-term relationships that almost turned into marriage and, you know, kids and stuff. But luckily for me, they didn't work out because I think I think that would have been miserable. I literally don't know a person that's happy married with kids. Like it just seems like in this country in particular, it's a very rare thing. And I guess I don't want to get caught in that trap because I see a lot of people, especially I'm the second youngest of 8 kids, and my older brothers have just been, I see them giving up and they're miserable and they just, they either get divorced or just give up and live that mundane existence. So I don't want that. I want to see what the alternative is, and if there is none, well, I'll just be miserable like everyone else. So
There is no hope.
So yeah, I'm having a hard time at the moment choosing what to do next because I have done nothing but work for the last 10 years or whatever, and it's made me a pretty hollow human being, to be honest. Like I've got a passport, I got it in 2012, but I haven't travelled. I literally moved to a mining town with my girlfriend, and I've just worked non-stop since. I had like a 10-month or 12-month break. I took leave without pay. I tried to start a new life down here, actually in Melbourne. I do like options trading and stuff like that. That was kind of a project of mine, but poorly prepared, I think. I just didn't realise the gravity of the process. I had some pretty serious stuff going on with my family at that time. So I kind of that was like a trial. Next time I want to do it rock solid and have like a kind of anti-fragile kind of approach to it, because like Ronan said, like things can just stop, and if you don't have anything else, you're like fucked. You're like on the street, or you've always got family, but you need, as a man, I think you need to be rock solid in yourself and your foundation. So I guess that's what I'm trying to build. I think I want to learn better, because I think with my work it's just a lot of it's repetition and just managing, just being a very good little soldier doing this, don't get out of your groove kind of thing. And I think what I do from here is going to be completely opposite to that. So I think it's going to hurt a lot, but I want to be uncomfortable because that's what I need. I need discomfort to grow. So yeah,
getting uncomfortable really is the difference between serving someone else, which is the comfort zone, and serving yourself, which is where it gets uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because so many of us don't serve ourselves up until the moment when it's past the point where we should have done it.
Yeah.
And just one on comfort zone that I
Talk loud, guys.
yeah, one of my mentors taught me about a comfort zone. It's like a speedometer on an engine. So you got the red zone. So the good thing about that is most people just spend 1,500 RPM. Their whole life's like 1,000, 1,500 RPM. Then you got those other high achievers, they'll go up to 6,000. But the entrepreneurs and like us, we're prepared to push ourselves out to 7, 8, 9,000 RPM, go into the red zone. Right? When you drive a fast car, they're designed to go there. And what happens is you can't spend a lot of time there. So you've got to visit the comfort zone and then come back. But what happens is the range keeps going round because the comfort zone, when you spend time there, it becomes a new normal. So that's the expansion process. So, guys that are billionaires, they can rev out to 30,000 RPM. And that's their edge is 30,000, but they come back to 25. And they're revving way harder than anyone else. But that's the difference.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, just on that though, with this comfort zone stuff, like Ronin was... sorry?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Hamish. Yeah, sorry. I thought I'd make just a comment there. Just with the comfort zone stuff, because I'm going to comment on the same thing. Sorry, mate. Just with the comfort zone stuff, when you rev, if you go to $8,000 or $9,000 and you blow your motor up, like Ronan was saying, then the wind just gets taken out of your sails and you can end up on the street. There's got to be this balance.
But you can rebuild the motor.
Yeah, but do you need a special insurance policy there that's structured so you don't have to live out of your car, or you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be something in place, I think, sometimes. Otherwise, you go to the point where you might never come back. You might never ever rebuild that motor. So, I don't know. It's just something I'll touch on when I...
That's actually a good point. It's really hard to come back over and over when you get older.
Yeah.
Like, you want to not have to do that. You want to be able to do that, but you just fucking somehow you don't quite, you don't quite,
You found some of your businesses
Yeah.
a bit, it sounded a bit terrifying to me, and then you come back, but yeah. Like,
I always fucking come back. Yeah. Fuck that.
Stuff.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Ronan's a fucking boomerang.
No, I'm fucking coming back. There's no question. Yeah. Yeah, fuck everybody. I'm coming back. Yeah.
Because you hit a whole new environment and everything that happened before is non-existent. And then it's
Are you done? Oh, he's got a little bit more.
Yeah, let him go.
I was just going to say, I think I agree with what Hamish said, but I think the problem with some people is they take the protection and the comfort, like the shock absorber, too far. I think that's been my problem. I was just built up, like I had a goal when I got to my job, was like I need this amount of money and then I'll leave, I'll do this. But then it's like, oh, fuck, I better get a bit more because there's a financial crisis coming, it still hasn't come. And, it's just this fucking endless thing of more is better, and it's not, because I think you get to past a certain point, it becomes an anchor on you, and that's the problem I've had. But it is a balance. It's hard. I understand. So that's all I had. So cheers. It's good to be here, meet some like-minded individuals. It's hard to kind of have these conversations in the workplace, especially my workplace, without getting sacked, to be honest. So
Let me guess, you work with a lot of women.
yeah, don't get me started. Anyway, it's just what it is now. You just got to get the fuck out because it's not going to stop.
No.
I think. Yeah. Anyway, it's good to be here.
Oh, shit. It's D here. Welcome, guys. Great to have you here. I basically want pretty much everything that you guys want as well. From an online job, like trying to work out a way to be able to have a job where I don't have to be stuck in one place, so I can travel around, because it's not so much even well, of course it's traveling. I love traveling, but I just don't really. I've never, even though I'm born in Australia, I've never felt home here, and throughout the years, this is one thing that I want to change. Like all the research that I have done, I want to implement in my life now. And some of the research that I have done has taught me, or I have found out stuff that I don't that I really don't like about Australia. But a lot of this stuff happens overseas as well, and it's worse in a lot of countries. I like in the past decade and a half, I've basically done a lot of research, like from philosophy, psychology, and the arts, whatever, film, photography, music. I've always I've been doing that since I was 15, and I thought I learnt a lot in those 15 years, but what I've learnt this year, well, let's say 2019, has been so compressed, so actually helpful. And, you know, like you come to a point in your life where, well, not everyone, but you just kind of like, you even stop questioning yourself. I did, you know, like just kind of like accepted, well, this is kind of how it is, blah, blah, blah. After you've been conditioned for so long in whatever place you are, because you become your environment. As much as I have done the research, there's also obvious things that I don't particularly like about the way things are going here in Australia, but it's almost in a way I have given up trying to fight that and just gone, okay, now take care of yourself. And that's where I've done a lot of work with the whole codependency stuff that has happened to me last year that's really thrown me out of orbit, which I thought of it as a disaster. Well, in a way, it depends how you look at stuff. Like, you know, sometimes, yes, at the moment it might appear like a disaster, but then depends how you go about it. It can be an actual blessing. And I feel that particular disaster has freed me a lot, and it's helped me, as well as it's also helped me to find where the problem was, like why have I been feeling in a certain way in my life, and being inquisitive, you know, and having support, and having recommendations and books and certain podcasts has helped me break away through a lot of that, through those bars. And I know there's a lot to learn still, but I don't want to just spend my time now, I've got to learn this, or this is what I'm interested in. I actually want to use the stuff that I know, and I think I'm taking on a lot of the time big projects that make me comfortable in my life, but not actually make a lot of money. You know, to me, it's kind of like if I can be sustained comfortably for X amount of time, that's when I'll do a lot of work, and I'll live my life comfortably. You know, it giving me time to research and all this stuff. So basically what I want to change is, yes, start implementing my knowledge and actually like be practical and helpful, and this time also feel some sort of joy, which I am. Like, it's automatic. Like, you know, once you get over certain traumas and whatever, like, I mean, I know there's still a long road, but the way I feel already has been, and I reckon it pretty much has started from my first meeting, like in Bangkok, you know, just meeting all the guys in the summit, you know, which was, I think, in February or something like that in 2019. And there was a lot of people kind of really open and helping out and suggesting things. And I think it's very important to open up, because it's, again, you sort of cocoon yourself and you don't realize that there are so many actually intelligent people out there, people who are supportive. And that's where I've kind of missed out on a lot of stuff in the past, because I have just felt in a way trapped. and that's again, it's a mental thing, from family to government to how you've been conditioned and whatever. And that's another thing I wanna break as well is be in that comfort zone, or just like trying to meet more people, more like-minded people, and more like-minded people and informative people, not just people that are there for good times, because I have done that, and it's never too late to have a good time and party and whatever, but I've done that throughout the decades, and now I feel it's a different journey, and the thing is, I do feel excited about it, and I never thought it would even come this close, and anything's possible, and it's never too late to feel happy, and just just go for it, guys, and don't let anything like pull you back. And that is a lesson that I've got to learn as well. Just get out there a little bit and kind of stick to your guns and do your thing.
So what's your personal intention for you moving forward?
Basically, I want to self-actualize. I never even really understood that till actually recently. Like, I had a rough idea what it could mean, but actually, all these things. What I want to do is all these things that I have learned, and it's not only philosophy and psychology. I'm talking in arts, like whatever art form I have learned. I want to basically put that together somehow, because I've noticed I can't just work on one discipline, let's say just music. I've noticed even with music I'd be having ideas about photography, video, and all this stuff, and it's always like that. But basically, that's one thing I want to basically start a new business.
Like a creation machine or something.
Yeah, like a collective.
Across many different.
Yeah, across many different mediums.
Like you paint this,
Yeah.
you painted this,
And it's not.
then something, and then make a fucking computer or something.
And that's how I operate. That's how I do things. But now it's a little bit more focused, because, for example, I'll be working on art, and the next thing I want to learn, while I'm even doing that, I want to learn the mechanics of a car, and which I do. Something will be wrong, and it's just actually, rather than me actually going and paying, I want to learn how to do this. So one of the things that I want.
Truck right here with a pipe going outside, with the engine working.
What's this?
You could have an engine. You have a car in here with the engine, with the pipe going outside, and it's just the engine open, and you can
Yeah. It's almost like that. And while I'm having keyboards and. Yeah, while I'm having guitars or keyboards around it or something like that, Yeah, but that's how. I'm very inquisitive. In the other place, mushrooms, whatever, No, but I've always been inquisitive, and that's one thing that's kept me going, But I must draw the line, that's the thing. I don't know how to do things, but I know I'll achieve whatever it is that I decide to do. And that's I found that part to be a little bit of a downfall for me, because it takes me a while to work out what it is that I want to do. But once I decide that's it, I'll end up doing it. And with the codependence, my codependent part has actually held me back a lot, because I've been too busy trying to help other people, because I can see how the problem. To me, I can see the problem. It's very obvious. Now, in the past, I don't know if people have just played dumb. Well, my family has. It's just played plain dumb. But other people as well, it's kind of oh man, I can fix this. It's someone. It'll take someone, let's say, a month, and I can probably do it a day or 2 or 3 or something like that. And that's what it was like. To me, it's frustrating to think of the person, oh my God, you're still working on that shit? Just give it to me over here, I'll do it, fuck it, just go and make me coffee or whatever, So that's the thing, I actually want to discipline myself a whole lot more. I know I want to exercise more, and that, guys, seriously, I don't exercise as much as I should be, but I know that is like one of the key things that mentally just fires you up, you know, like especially in the morning. It doesn't have to be much, you know. That's one thing that I really learned. But yeah, I want to keep on exercising, eating healthy. I've noticed when I've been exercising, my mind functions differently and my body wants different things to whatever it's been used to, let's say in the past decade or whatever, like actually wanting to eat healthy. Focus more on these things that I want to do, you know, like implementing all my art forms in some way, and hopefully that's what I'm finding difficult. Well, if I was to do that kind of stuff, I can't travel very much because I'd be working on my artwork.
You can do traveling art.
I know, but
art shows everywhere.
Oh no, there are, but like, you know, I kind of am a little bit picky as to how I want to do things and present them as well. You know, like even this place, you know, it's not your traditional Melbourne. Well, I don't want to say what kind of a place it is, but you know, it's not your traditional Melbourne place. But the thing is, again, I'll make it, and all of a sudden, you know, people are really interested in it. And like I was mentioning, now there's about 6 or 7 or 8 of them around, and there was nobody around before that, you know. And this is pretty much, in a way, it's not made out of nothing, but it's one of those things. You focus. This is what I want to do. Bang, you know. And with other work, whatever it is, I don't want to. I somehow make it work, whatever it is. The way. Yeah, I want to. Once I know whatever it is that I want, or if I know the rules of a game, I always find a way to get around it. I don't do it by the book. Like, it's almost never by the book, almost never, you know. And that's why it works, and that's why in certain areas it doesn't. Sometimes it might not work, but that's where I back myself up with law. They were going to shut this place down, and because I've been doing research in the past, I've used law and it's helped me. And who would say law in art or whatever? Like, you know, like you've got lawyers or whatever. But if I didn't know the law, this would have been shut down now. You know, so all these things. And when people say, "Oh, why are you wasting your time learning this and this?" If you're interested, I don't think it's a waste of time, because you absorb it well and it'll come out at some stage. You know,
Expanding your neurology.
yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And plus, a lot of these ideas, you can see how they fit in all different disciplines as well. Like you would think philosophy doesn't have much to do with law or psychology, all of it is intertwined. And some of these ideas you can use even in mechanics, you know, like that's kind of like how that's my experience, you know. But being free, being able to, like I want to be careful as well with the people that I spend time with, because the energy of people and the support and like I'm usually a loner in my pursuits. I will get people involved, but you know, like I'll be just super focused, you know. And I know with the right people, you don't even have to try. Like, I mean, it's almost like an energy thing. And I've noticed here, they've been throughout the years, let's say I've been here almost a decade, and people will be working here. Like, let's say I'll just slack off for whatever amount of time, and I just am not motivated. And I'd have people here organising, let's say, a theatre show, or almost even an exhibition, not so much, but like a theatre show, whatever it is that they'll be organising. I can't help it. I'll go to my studio and all of a sudden, not suddenly, but like I feel the energy and I want to work. Like for a whole month, let's say I do absolutely nothing. I see these people and I just walk out and it's just like, I'm itching actually, I want to work, you know? And I think it's important to have the right people around that support you. And that's the thing, I think also if you feel certain things in your life, go back. The biggest problems are usually the ones that are right there in front of you, but people don't. You know, they always think it's a little bit further. And the reason why I'm saying that is a lot of the abuse that I was copying when I was younger and throughout the years. I mean, like I'm middle aged, 47, and working out shit like that's happened to you in, like you throughout your whole life. It's been right in front of your face, and just working it out at 47. It's kind of like, oh well, this is why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling because of these things in the back here. Just clear that stuff out, and a lot of it, I think, ends up falling into place because your mind kind of, I think it almost rewires, and you sort of start to pick up stuff differently. You start to feel things differently, and also you start to again understand things differently because you have a new operating system that picks up things in different ways. It's almost like sensors open up and whatever, and that I have definitely felt this year in 2019. I thought in my 30s, like you were saying, 30s, a lot of the time people get depressed around that time, and that's when I started getting kind of quite depressed. But it's very, very, very important to be able to clear a lot of that stuff and be careful who the hell you're dating.
I was going to say two things. One is, D is good with women. He's very confident. So, there's different kind of guys here. So you can learn different things, even if he doesn't know how to teach it. Like, he's got something that is good, So everybody's got different things here, So you can learn so much from people, not even asking, just by watching and feeling and understanding, right? That's one thing. And the second thing is when you said how one thing can change everything. I was watching this movie, and it was like,
I'm holding.
Yeah, it's like I was watching this movie, and then everything was like a really nice scene, an opening scene. Everything's great. It was happy, and then you see blood dripping out of the bed. It's like, and then it just rewires your brain. It's like, oh shit, and that's how life is, It's just all of a sudden the blood's dripping out of the bed, and you're like, fuck me. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
You see that, and you're gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna fucking accept the fact that shit's going down, and it's probably gonna be ugly,
Yeah, you're in a different state of mind.
You're gonna have to change.
Yeah. And I never thought that about me, like what you said about the girls, but I wanted to throw something at Peter.
Nobody that's good at women knows they are. You just don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, get good reaction.
I like artistic guys, so.
No. It's not like that.
No. I don't ever tell them.
There's some idiot art guys. They're terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like,
women though.
no, actually, most of the people that are in my circle are just like. Yeah, like. Huh?
Dee's also good at paying attention to stuff.
Hey?
Dee's also pretty good at paying attention to stuff. Like, we were in Thailand and we were just walking together, and the reception lady there, she gave me an eye. I didn't notice at all, but he was like, "That girl really likes you." I had no clue. Yeah, and fucked her. Yeah.
He noticed.
He noticed. I had no idea. I didn't notice at all.
That kind of shit you can't teach you, but it's.
He actually told me. After that, I started noticing.
Did you?
Yeah. I can see it.
Okay. Most people.
Yeah, quite often
And-
you're going to get someone who's outside
Of course you
the
can learn
circle
it,
to be
but
like, hey, I see
I don't want
what's
to get your
going
hopes
on
up.
here. You then
I've already noticed
focus
it.
on it.
I've already noticed it.
Repeat that, sorry?
I was just saying that quite often, even if you're good at something, a lot of the time you might not know it. And I see this in so many people that are extremely talented, but yet they're not utilizing that talent because they don't think they're that good at it. Until enough people actually come up, or someone, for example, that is good at it, that they really respect, that this person that they respect might actually not be as good at this thing as the person who doesn't think they're good at it is. All right, so let's say, for example, I might be good at something, D. Let's just call it...
Making tables.
Let's call it woodwork. Let's say I like woodwork, but I don't think I'm that good at it, right? And I've seen some of your woodwork stuff, and I'm like, D, that's fucking amazing. Like, how do you do that? And you're like, dude, what are you talking about? Your stuff's better than mine. And I'm like, no, that's not possible, because we have this perception of ourselves where if we're going to sort of idolize someone for something, by default, we're actually pedestalizing them. And when you pedestalize someone, you actually raise them above your own level. On a subconscious level, you do that because if you're on the same level as someone, you get it, you're on the same page, right? But if you put them on a pedestal, then it's like you've put them on a higher level than you, even if they're actually not on the same level. So by default, you actually drag yourself down consciously, unconsciously. So yeah, I guess, from what you were saying before, Pete, like where this girl was attracted to you because of your energy and because of the way you held yourself. And then D pointed it out, right? Because D's obviously, had success with women. And then you're like, no, wait, whoa, hang on. You're like, well, what if this is true? And you've tested that theory and you had success with that particular girl. And now you're like, now I know the signs to look for. Now I know what to do. And this is part of the learning process, whether it's with, learning how to get better with interpersonal relationships with people, whether it's, learning a particular trait or a skill or an art form. Like it's all about listening to people around us and getting feedback and growing from that.
I'll only add one thing. I was going to say, I lied about you can't learn it. You can learn everything. But it's just that I didn't want to get people's hopes up because some people are fucked. So, I can't really, I don't want to. But no, you can learn whatever you want to learn. You can. I can't really understand why or how, but sometimes, and maybe me on different areas, it's like, but you can, it's like,
You will.
it's the only way you can learn is by watching, I think. At this level, it's almost like you osmose shit. You got to be around people because you got to osmose it. If you can't do it, like if you have blocks in your mind, sometimes you just have to osmose it. Like I'll just say I had this one guy I wanted to learn from him, and then I had a chance to go with him on a tour. He does tours, right? He's a famous guy. So I went on tour with him for 3.5 months. I helped him with everything, and I got to kind of absorb what he was doing and how he thinks. And after 3 months, I was able to absorb and understand what he was doing. But if somebody would have said, you can learn what he does, I would have said, I can't. I don't have that, whatever that is. But, I did it the easy way, which is kind of like nearby, just being nearby. And eventually, what do you need? You need some help? You need to fucking clean this table? I'll clean the fucking table. Like no pride at all. I was this bodyguard and driver for like 3.5 months for all these events and like taking money and cleaning things out and moving chairs and just doing shit for free in my 50s, early 50s, And it was but it was a great experience because I couldn't learn. I was too rigid to learn his stuff. It was too different than me. Like really. But I learned. I found a way to do it. I couldn't learn it the easy way. It's like Chinese. I had to play it all night at night and let it just go in my mind. And then eventually I found a way to learn it. So there is a way to learn it, but it might not be the way you've ever learned before. And if you are flexible enough to realize that, then you can learn anything. But you can't learn it the way you learned it. You got to find a new way. That's why on Saturday we're going to have a call, if the fucking internet works, with Olin, who's going to talk about making money online. And he basically started basically kissing somebody's ass. Like basically just said, hey, guy's making money online. He's like, what do you need? I'll move there. Where are you? I'll go. Spain. I'm there. I'll find a place to stay. I'll sleep on the stairs. I'll do whatever. And then he just did that. And he said, what do you need done? Okay, you need to write this. Okay, I'll write that. And he wasn't like how much per word. And he was just like getting cans of fucking beans or whatever he ate, And then he was able to find a way to put it together to get to his goal. And he's not even at his goal, but he's doing pretty good for a young guy, like he's making it. But he didn't find it by the way he would, you know what I mean? Like he had to submit himself almost. And I've done that too. I've submitted myself to many teachers before. And that is one of the things that every leader, like military, like you don't get to be the general by being the general. You get to be the general by just by really studying your things you're supposed to do, the way you put your gun together, the way you don't put your head up, and the way you communicate, and all the details. Which I'm not a soldier, but I mean, I can imagine all the details, doing it right, like a robot, and just again and again, Michael Jordan shooting fucking free throws in the middle of the night. He's shot 1 million, but more, and then just getting it perfect, and then doing what people say, and then eventually he starts to get this view, a larger view, and then a larger view, and then a larger view. So you can learn it, but you got to be able to go here, no matter how fucking old you are. You could be 60 years old, and if you can submit yourself to working for free for a 20-year-old, not many guys can do that. Because even
but not many guys will do it.
That's what I mean. I think Ken, they can't. I can do it. Like I can say, okay, this kid knows what I need to know, right? I want to learn. And I have confidence in myself that I have other stuff I can add to it once I get that. But it's like, if I go at it with the other way, you know, like, oh, I'm the older, fuck, that's never going to fucking work, right? And it's actually wonderful because you learn, like, it brings you a connection to younger people too, which is beautiful, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, yes, you can learn, but you got to fucking you got to be able to go down there. And I guess that's what I was going to say.
It's a lifelong process, I think.
Yeah, it's a humbling. It's a humbling. You want to learn, you got to be humble. No more fucking, I did this before, I was this. Fuck all that, write this fucking sentence and it sucks. And you worked on it, it still sucks. You know, it's a good sentence. It's not a good sentence for SEO, you know? And learn how to do SEO and come back to me. I'm busy. You know, it's like, oh no, fuck, you know. I'm working for free for this 20-year-old. You know, but that's it. And it ends up opening everything up, in my opinion. Anyway.
Exactly. And, you know, just on what you were talking about, Ronan, and there's a song that says, they want to hold you back, tell them pee off. Whenever they say you can't, take the T off. I remember when they told me I wouldn't be famous. Now my dream and reality is simultaneous. You could work your own way to the top. If they put you on a pedestal, they can take you off. And I think that that's very powerful because, you know, quite often can't has become such a huge part of our language. Like, it's like, man, I need you in, if someone said to me, like, I need you in LA tomorrow, just consciously my instant reaction is, I can't, man. It's like fucking LA. Like, I gotta book flights, I gotta get accommodation. It's like, how fucking bad do you want this? It's like, you know, someone who's, you know, really quite fat and, you know, really wants to get trimmed. They want to get ripped. Like, they want to be the guy that they aspire to be. And they'll go to this guy and say, what does it take? It's like, well, okay, well, you know, you got a long way to go. These are the steps you're going to need to take. Oh yeah, I can't do that. That's too much. It's like, well, you don't fucking want that bad enough. Because there's people out there that want it so bad. Like, it's everything they've craved for their whole life. And then finally someone has taken the time to share with them the wisdom. They go, you know what? Like, I want this so bad right now. Like, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. I have to do this. And I'm not turning away until I achieve my goal. And I really think that that's the level of commitment and dedication. And what's the other word? I'm pretty sure it starts with a D.
Diligence? No.
It's like just having that diligent discipline. Discipline is so important because it's very easy to be disciplined by somebody else, but it's not very easy to discipline yourself because it's so easy to let yourself off the hook because you've got like if you let yourself off the hook, it's like, oh, well, I'm off the hook, right? Because like no one else is going to have a go at me. It's only me. But it's like, you're the person that you need to be most accountable to, not other people, right? We've got this shit all wrong. Like we're saying, well, you know, we need someone else to hold us to account, to discipline us. No, you need yourself to do that because that's the only way that you're going to become responsible as a person, right? For your own outcomes because no one else is going to give you what you want unless you do.
Okay, and now I'll do the exact opposite. And I think that everything has value. Like every way at certain times and certain things, they're completely different, right? For myself, the being hard on myself, I have to focus, discipline, like, what is it? It's a certain way, and I think a lot of what's that? Well, it's like a lot of men's groups. Like there was a men's group I was invited to go to in Santa Barbara or Santa Cruz, and he keeps wanting me to come. But I heard their philosophy, and I was like, it was this kind of like, I don't know if it was like a man up type thing, and that's not what you're saying. But it's like there are other ways of thinking. For myself, I don't subscribe to that at all. What I do is I let it all go, completely all go, and then I wait. Like it's like a little plant coming up, you know. I just wait for the plant. If it starts coming up, you know, it's like it comes up like out of me, but don't push it. I don't have, like for myself at this stage, I no longer have the whip on my back at all. because it doesn't help me at all. It doesn't. It's everybody's got a different personality too.
Yeah,
like for me, that does not help me at all. I had the whip a lot, and it doesn't help me. The best thing is push all the whips away and not even like take them out of my hands and totally let myself go to nothing, and then allow the natural, whatever that natural motivation, like trust myself to let that, there's going to be something there. Like at the bottom, even if I let it all go, I let it all go. There's something, it's going to come out somehow. No matter how stupid I look to everybody around me, everybody's laughing, whatever the fuck. And it's just like peace. It's like a monk. It's like I'm just going in. Yeah, I don't know, whatever fucking word. I let it all go, all the embarrassed everybody, and I just wait. And then I know that something's going to come along. It's like a movie. The guy comes, you see a guy walking through the desert towards you, someone's going to come. Like I know some idea or something is just going to eventually walk into my view, and then things are going to change. So I just wait. I get down there. I stop all that, because when I do that, I go into, it's like a frenzy or something, or it's like, to me, it's unsustainable. Like for myself, now again, it's going to depend on what it is. When I'm doing yoga, I'm sweating my ass off and cursing the universe, because it's like hard. And I'm like, so I take the exact opposite approach to a yoga stance, right? I'm like fucking dying, and it sucks. And it hurts, and I'm not good, and I'm slipping on my fucking mat, and some chick's doing it 10 times better than me next to me, and it's just like I didn't drink enough water that day, and it's fucked, and I feel like shit, and I feel like an idiot, and I don't look good, and like mentally in any way, and whatever, the car might get a ticket, whatever the fuck is going on, but I just like grind it out. So there is a time for that. There is a time, but when it comes to the big stuff, like a purpose in life, thing, I think it's very good, at least for myself, is to be able to just say, you know what, I might not have a fucking purpose. Like there might not be nothing there. Like literally, there might be no purpose to life. Everybody could be giving themselves a hand job around me. Like I don't even know if there is purpose. Maybe this shit about purpose is all shit. Maybe they're all lying to me. I have no fucking idea. So I'm not going to even assume I'm going to find I think these kids, they all want to find their purpose. It's like, maybe there isn't one, I don't know, maybe, who knows, maybe for them, I don't know, but for myself, I just say, okay, well, if there isn't, then there isn't. And I'm on this planet, and what else is there? Like, it's not going to depress me. If there is no purpose, like to myself or to the world, then that's not going to depress me, because then I'm going to find out what the fuck is going on. So I'm just going to say, like, one thing I've talked about before, but it's really like a deep concept for me, is even if I was in jail, like I say I was in jail and I couldn't, for life, forever, I would be totally happy. I swear to God, I'd be happy. I would watch the sunrise. I would be checking out ants. I'd have my little ant colony, and I'd be writing books in my mind. I would be meeting people. I would be feeling the temperature and thinking about, like I'd literally be thinking about, I would probably be getting to space if I could see up this, like planets. So I would definitely think about, the universe and things like that, right? I would find happiness in that. And in some ways, we're all in prison anyway, So in a sense, it's kind of true already. We all have limitations like crazy, So, but anyway, if I went to prison, I'm sure I would be happy, because I always have been. And so even if I'm on a boat going off a waterfall, I'm definitely going to enjoy it until I go off, It's just fuck it. I don't know if there is a purpose. I have no fucking idea. But hopefully I'll find something that I want to do that gets me to some new stage of my life, where it's like, just some new thing. I don't know what it is. It's going to be something, something else that's not, if I set it too clearly and I discipline myself, I end up at the wrong road so many times. And it might not be the wrong road. I did this with my real estate company. I built a real estate company, and I beat the shit out of myself to do it. And when I finally got it, I realized that I hated having employees, I just didn't like it, Like I hated going to the office. I found myself avoiding the office at all costs. I wouldn't go to the office. And even though everybody was really nice and everything was great, and the office looked great and everything, but I always stay at home. And I just realized all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, everything I built, I hate, And I'm like,
is that your box, or is that the block giving you a sign?
Was it? So the question is it a block or was it something? Yeah, was it a weakness?
And then dump
I-
money somewhere and live off that, or were you meant to just get out?
This particular business was in China where you can't protect yourself, so I didn't have that option. Yeah, like Dee's got a business that he can do that with. I didn't have a business I could do that with. I didn't have anything that I could put on autopilot. So it was kind of a all or nothing type of situation for me. There's no way I could have left China and got money from that business. In fact, it was ended up being stolen even when I was there. So, yeah, if I would have left, it would have been no hope at all. There was no legal protection for me at my level of business and all that. And also with my level of knowledge. And, obviously if I went back, I could do different things for sure. I would have done a different business. Although that business was fucking awesome, you guys. That period taught me a lot. Like I have tons of lessons to hand out from that time. So I'm not saying it's a waste of time, but I'm just saying at my stage now, I prefer that the monks, there were some monks who went to the desert. I don't remember what they're called. I read a book in college, a philosophy book.
Desert monks.
Maybe, I don't know, it was a different name, but it was, they went to the desert for, no, in the Middle East for like 40 years and by themselves. And they dug these underground houses. And then they came up with this wisdom, and I read their book of all the wisdom they got from being alone. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. Because they were not bored at all. They were totally into it. They were not missing anything. They were really enjoying themselves. And I thought, wow, that's incredible, And I kind of sensed right when I was young, I knew that was possible for me. I could totally do that, At the same time as I love people and I love excitement. So I think that you need like multiple philosophies that totally contradict each other. So it's like you can just like you can just like switch them. It's like a GPU. You can just switch it. You just take it out. CPU. Yeah, it's like let's go from AMD. Let's go to Intel. Let's go to Kirin. The Huawei TCSE one. Let's switch. Let's go to Chromebook. Let's switch. What do we need now? What is the switch for me in my life? This sounds terrible. Like that kind of beating myself up to fight for something like that. I'll do it. I'll do a fight to the death now, but in a different way and for a different reason.
Absolutely.
Maybe less of them, but more serious.
Well, I don't know if you noticed when I said that before, and you're like, well, I'm going to totally go against that. Like, I don't know if you heard me like laugh a little bit, because I was like, I really want to hear what you have to say, because I'm not you and I haven't lived the same life that you have, so you've got a different point of view to me. And I'm open to that, and like I want to hear what you have to say. You know what I mean?
So awesome.
Like legit,
So
and this
rare,
is what this is all about. Like I actually got excited because that we're gonna offer up so many different ways of self-motivation and driving ourselves and discovering ourselves. Oh yeah. There's like a big bottle of whiskey and all these cool bracelets on the table, so they got that going on. You should see his face right now. He's so happy.
They don't know we're probably breaking for lunch.
But I mean, look, we will be breaking for lunch very shortly. But yeah, I mean, I just love that we're gonna have all of these different perspectives, because not everything that I say, not everything that Ronan says, not everything. What was your name again, Luke? John. I'm always terrible with names the first time around, so I apologize. John, D, like Hamish, everyone, we're all going to have different angles, and there's going to be a lot of people, hundreds, if not thousands of people listening. I'd say easily thousands, right, Ronan, listening to this recording. And for almost all of those people, there's going to be things that different people are going to share that are going to resonate with different people based on who those people are, what their value set is, how their mind's wired, what's important to them. And that's what I just think is so incredible about this gathering of men with different perspectives and different experiences and different takes on things. It's just so cool. So,
I've got a last thing to say.
Talk to me.
Move on.
I gotta just say, hell yeah! We should have clapped after that.
As far as I'm concerned, about me, last note. If you feel like you don't have confidence, right, and maybe at some stage in your life you have had it like in early stages, let's say in your 20s, and now you're 40, 50 or whatever, I never thought I'd get that confidence back. Not that I'm a very confident guy now, but I have seen the difference in the last year. And it's very possible to get back that feeling, just in case you guys, because I know a lot of the time, you know, guys have been beaten down by whatever circumstances in their lives, be it work, be it home, be it partners, be it whatever, you know, like that you end up coming out of whatever relationship or situation you're in completely beaten down. Months will go by where you feel like, nah, I'm not picking anything up, like I'm going to psychologists and whatever. It can happen. Just hang in there. Again, be with the right people, do the right thing, like, you know, listen to your body and feed your mind with the right things. And with hope, you know, like as in hope for improvement, it will happen. It will. You will get that confidence back. And I think it's very important that you get to that stage in your life where you do have some confidence. Therefore, you will feel like things have a meaning again. And I can sincerely say that's what's happened to me, and hopefully it'll be able to sustain itself like that. And if not, actually getting better, and not being confident to the point of being a total dick either. You know, it's just like actually being comfortable with yourself, humble, yeah, and it's achievable. Next, Hamish.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Dave. Okay, yeah. One of the reasons that I've come along today, I noticed Ronan speaking on YouTube, and I found his boy's own adventures pretty fascinating, and his ability to tell a story was really interesting, and I just like has an intensity of sort of an emotional thing behind your stories. I like that, so I sort of resonated with it because I was going through a bit of a breakup at the moment. I've been going through a separation for about 2 years, but I've sort of keep going back to it because, I'm not going back to it, but I just don't want to sell the house because it's like a fear thing, like, was it Paul? John talked about, with that sort of security feeling, and Dee talked about codependency and one of the other things that fascinated me about Ronan, it didn't seem to need women. You just jumped ship like from America to Asia and didn't care, and you didn't seem to need women or even mates to give you that oomph. Whereas when I was young in my 20s, I don't think I would have had the oomph, or I had so much fear and anxiety. I liked hanging around my comfort zone and mucking around and living off, you know, I was a bit weak. And then the only time I got real oomph was with other people or was with a woman. And I didn't know then because I didn't have a lot of women when I was in my 20s, but when I found my ex-wife or ex-separated partner, she gave me a lot of oomph. And that's when I was able to, I got an apprenticeship, did a plumbing apprenticeship in my 30s. I didn't know whether it was really what I wanted to do, but I did it. And that's not a bad thing. But now this relationship seems to be coming to an end, and I want more sort of, you know, more freedom. And also one of the other reasons is me and my partner didn't have kids. She had trouble with IVF. And I think she became really draining. She's a controlling type of person anyway, in some senses, in the fact she's a heavy sort of woman, and she's just sort of quite dominating, but that gave me a lot of strength. And but now it just becomes more of a turn off and more of a brick around your ankle. So, and it was interesting when Ronan was also talking about the narcissist videos and stuff like that, and I don't know, just the dynamics of women. I didn't know a lot about women before I met my main partner, and I think only from living with one and really getting to know women on all the stuff on YouTube, I didn't really know anything about women. Like, you seem to have a lot of insight into women without even having to go through YouTube's, because you obviously had a lot of women, but I don't know, just the characteristics they give out and the energy they have on you and the drive they can give you or the lack of drive they can give you, it is pretty important dynamic for a male, I think. Like, but it's you've got to be, like they all say on the YouTube videos, oh, you've got to be strong enough individual to run your own show. But they never sort of say the sort of energy and power a woman can give a male if it's the right energy and power. But that can also be worked against you. I don't know if you ever felt that with a woman, but yeah, I don't know. They can give you something, especially if you maybe didn't come from a perfect family. If your family wasn't the real white picket fence family, you didn't have a nice, sound upbringing, or your family had a few little weaknesses, and they don't need to be massive, but I think that's when you use women and stuff to fill those gaps, or you use work or some gap. You get that codependency to fill gaps. So yeah, I'm coming out of that, and I just need the energy to bounce off it and bounce into something else, and also work out where you're best to position yourself as in work, whether you're best to stay in a more safe work environment, especially in your 40s, and pick a destination that you want to live in. Like you guys talk about being free, but being free for me is just being somewhere that I'd want to be for a while. I wouldn't need to necessarily hop around the world and have an internet business, but I'd be happy just to know that I had investments or enough money just to pop around the place or live in a place that I choose to live in at the time. And also, I would still like to have a child and have a family, but it's just the way you do it. Yeah, a lot of the videos in Ronin give me a different description on, well, just chucked out ideas that could be pretty interesting, but they do take a bit of balls to implement, because I think the way the world's set up now, it's getting harder with the way they're locking real estate. The more real estate goes up, you don't ever want to blame your external situation, but you obviously have to be aware of that. And the less wages go down, and the more competition there is, you got to be aware of it. That's all. So when you do fuck up, it's going to hurt harder now, a little bit harder than maybe 20 years ago, because you're going to be paying massive rents in big cities, or you're going to have to choose your destinations accordingly, because real estate prices, I think, are a bit of a gremlin, especially in big cities. I think you can make a lot. I think it's okay to have a few investments and make money out of real estate, but I think it's getting to a point where the young guys really are going to get shafted by the old generation if they don't inherit decent amounts of real estate. You're definitely going to have an advantage. I mean, you might, and so that's got to be taken into account, and that's why. Sorry, turn that off. Oh, there's the beloved now. So, but I'm sorry, I'll just turn this off.
Put it on loudspeaker.
Let's hear it. Let's do it.
You want her on loudspeaker?
That's good. That's good. That's the attitude, though. That is actually the attitude. Open up. Hey, here's the fucking kimono, right? It's not all perfect, right?
Walk straight through the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me,
right.
I got something to add on that, real quick.
Do you want to put her on loudspeaker just quickly?
And
Get the vibe?
If you want to, I mean, just,
Yeah, you want to shut up?
Yeah, what's happening?
No, I just want to remind you to transfer that money, otherwise it doesn't go in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how much do you want?
868.
Yeah, okay. So how you going? Oh, I blew my tyre on the way out to the airport. I hit a rock.
You blew your tyre out.
Yeah, I sort of cut the shoulder on the highway a little bit, on the wrong part of the highway, and hit a rock at about 120. So I had to limp my ute to the airport. Anyway, I'll tell you later. Yeah.
Tow it.
Yeah. Not tow it. I could limp it. The tyre and wheel are fucked.
You got there in enough time?
Yeah, just. But yeah, all right, I'll transfer that money. How's Marley?
He's alright.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just about to get to the course now. I'm just...
So where did you organise your accommodation?
No, I haven't done that yet.
What?
No, it should be alright.
That's crazy.
Yep, alright, okay, keep in touch, catch ya.
Okay. Don't say anything about that.
No.
We can talk about that later. Yeah. Let that one rest. Let that one rest. Yeah, don't be too hard. Like, let it rest. Like, the reality of people, it's really good. It's really, really good. I was going to say about the other stuff you were talking about, just real quick, this is important. This is what I learned from the trauma stuff, is that you said that you can get basically, let's say you have like the family's background is not perfect or whatever. You get that from a woman. I'm going to tell you right now that is absolutely false. And it's a big mistake. I would say probably almost 100% of people believe that. And that is why people have children, and that's why people get married, is because they feel like two pieces together make one whole, right? Two halves make one whole. And that's a concept that I think everybody has, that they're like, I'm going to look for this, the things I'm missing, I'm going to look for it in another person, and that'll make a perfect. And every movie, everybody pretty much believes this. I'm not saying that two people don't have synergy, don't get me wrong, and that you can't gain from women and men. But the thing is that it's a very big problem. It's a very big mistake, because the heart of it, and the reason why men don't get what they want in life with women in relationships is because of this. It's, the concept, and it's very easy to understand. Okay, the concept when you want a girl too much. So let's say you're in the club and she's too hot, and you're just like, you can barely get together. You're like, she's your type. She's like, you fucking barely talk to her. You're like, and then whereas there's like some ugly girl, like plain girl, you can just like, hey, what's going on? Hey, like treat her like your little sister, no problem. And then she loves you, right? So that's how, that's, everybody knows that about women, right? But that's how all of life is. So when you need something, people don't want to give it to you, you don't get it. So the key is one of the keys, like one of the key parts is really Unblackmailable, is that you have to learn to fix those fundamental issues. So for example, just one real quick thing, but it'll give you an idea that you can kind of think about. Let's say, for example, you had parents who did not give you something. Let's say they didn't give you, they didn't pay attention to you. You had 8 brothers, everybody, they didn't have time for you. And so, they didn't pay attention, like, how are you? How was today? How do you feel? What about that girl that you like in class when you're third grade? And they weren't listening to you, right? And so, as you get older, you look for somebody who is going to, it makes logical sense, right? You're like, okay, the one thing I didn't get is this one thing, or, and I'm just talking generally here. So you say, well, I'll get a girl who'll give me that. Like she'll basically, like, that girl pays attention to me. She asks me. So I kind of want to get that, So this is the perfect, girl for me, right? The problem is that is actually, there's a bunch of problems, and it has nothing to do with women. The problem is that when you're in 3rd grade, you need your parents to listen to you, right? But if they didn't listen to you about what you feel and stuff, once that time has passed, it's like you need a medicine, right? But then you scar over it. So even if you put medicine on the scar, it's too late, because the thing is already scarred over. So you already have a scar now. So now when you were in 3rd grade, that girl would have been perfect, because she would say, I noticed nobody listens to you. What do you feel about this? And then you would talk, and then you would never have that scar. But once that scar is formed, it's already formed. It's like your brain is many, many thousand different separate things that like seal at certain stages of development. They're finished. So when you get older, the same thing that you needed does not fix what made the problem. That's one of the problems with trying to recover. Because even if the person who did the thing calls you and does everything they should have done, you've changed. And so they can't fix it anymore. It's not appropriate. They can't say whatever they should have said. If they say, I was fucking wrong, I read every book, and I want to give you exactly what I didn't give you. And then you would be like, oh my God, this is like amazing, you know? But then it's like you would feel this like, you're just still unsure because it's like you've already scarred over that. And so the only way to fix it at that point is to fix it yourself. You have to find a way, and there are ways. There are very specific methods that you can do to go back and fix yourself. Okay? Yeah, it's the only fucking way. It's the only way. There is no other way. I'm telling you, this is a solid one. You cannot go, but no one can do it for you. But you have to learn how to do that. But so that's what people are looking for, is to fix them, and then they're unsatisfied. But the truth is that nobody can fix it. Even the nicest person, even the parent, the grandparent, nobody can fix it. So you learn that you have to go in and fix yourself. And when you do that, it's amazing, because then all of a sudden, it's like the hot girl becomes a normal girl. Mm-hmm. And because you don't need it anymore. Oh, yeah. See, so when you need it from the girl, all of a sudden it doesn't, one, it can't work. And two, of course, it makes you vulnerable. Because then she turns it on and off on you. She's like, oh, you want some of this? Okay, well, I'll turn it off. You want some more? Oh, like a little bit. If you do this. And it becomes like that. So the way that you fix it is just very simple. You have to fix yourself, and it is not fucking easy, or I would just say it right now. It's complex and it's individual, but don't look outside yourself. If you know this concept, you will save yourself tons of problems, because this is why most people get married and have children, is because they're secretly trying to fix or trying to find the perfect solution to the things they're missing and find them in other people, which makes perfect logical sense. That's why everybody does it. The problem is, you look around you, watch, just think of one friend, what he's missing, and then why he chose his woman. Just look at them. Just watch them talk. Just look at them and just say, is it working? Is he getting the thing that he needs? Don't even use yourself. Use somebody else. And you will be like, oh my God, no way. And then go to somebody else and you'll be like, oh my God. And you're like, oh shit, this doesn't work. It's hard to see in ourselves, but you can see it in other people sometimes. So anyway, so that's what I was going to say to that. So there's a new mindset, or a mindset that might be, maybe.
All my friends are happily married.
Okay, well.
That's where I'm like, Stephen.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. Another guy failed in marriage, but as you said, and you mentioned it once with Child and Sweetheart, people that got married in their early 20s. You said people that got married in their early 20s generally make it work better. I don't know, you said that in one of your films.
Yeah, keep talking. I just want to make sure it's still working.
Yeah. Is it still working?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that, and maybe there's some truth in that. And the other thing that scares me is I see like this single flatmate that I live with, and he's a total recluse and he's an alcoholic, and he's scared of women, and he's never got married ever, and he's a real loner. And he used to be a motorcycle courier in England, and he's pretty hardcore, and he's had like one problem. He had one woman once, and he just can't deal with women at all, and that's going the other way. And so it's obviously getting that balance and not using women as a scar healer, but obviously he uses alcohol, and he said his mother's the only thing that keeps him going, and he's a bit of an interesting character, but it's just another extreme. But but he just doesn't seem to want to go near women at all. And you see those guys, and they push you to a wife and kids, like people are pushed with wife and kids with, you're going to be lonely when you're older, because you see those guys, and you get scared then as well. If you don't have a big checkbook, I don't know. There's just a lot of fear around not having a big enough checkbook and being lonely when you're older. I mean, that's obviously every guy's big... Fear. Yeah. I mean, it is a big fear, because it's survival, and a big checkbook these days is freedom. And it's masculinity in some ways, because women, they don't judge you for money all the time, but you are a provider, and even though women earn a lot of money now, it's changed the dynamic with the way you look at work. So women don't even need the money, but men are still get a way more judgment from having a big checkbook than women. And the way the world's set up now is corporations, like it's mentioned on one other channel. Yeah, I'll be 2 seconds, and then do you want? Yeah, I'll go. I'll just 5 more seconds, and then corporations basically use women as cannon fodder because they want more people in the workforce because it's cheaper labour. But yeah, that's my main
It's
issue.
not actually cheaper labour. It's the same cost. It's just more variety of choice for them.
Yeah, so it obviously brings down the cost of labour. That's why they want women to be lawyers, and I mean, not so much doctors because they seem to have the strongest union in the world. But I mean, yeah, in a lot of professions, especially healthcare sector, and all those
Do you want
women.
to work on fear this weekend? It's a good topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear is a major thing. Major.
Yeah, and so fear's my main thing. And
50%.
yeah, security and fear. Getting out of my house, pretty scot-free, and moving onwards and upwards, and not being and basically playing. Do I play to win or do I play to lose? When you get to 40, some people say you play to win right up until you're 40, but once you start getting, as you say, 50s, it starts to become harder to play to win and not to play to lose. So that, yeah, that's an issue that I'd like to also discuss later on.
But there's also a thing called choice.
Yeah, choice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I just
When you're
Finished
be,
now. Yeah.
Because if you think you can and you think you can't, you're right.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you think you can and you think you can't, you're right.
Forward. Yeah, true.
I think there's a great deal of if people nobody should be playing to lose, period.
No, okay.
And I think that's, if we think that it's a choice between playing to win or playing to lose, it's like, well, if playing to win gets too hard, then we must be playing to lose, right? That's not how I would suggest that people think about things. But anyway, look, we've been going for a while now, and I think it's about time that we pause this, make this part one, grab a bite to eat, organize something, get a bit of fresh air, stretch our legs, and we'll start part two fresh very soon.
All right.